Welcome back to Mike Burris here with spiritmusicmeetups.org. You made it to the Rudiment page. You know, rudiments are like the building blocks of anything. You know, our language is words made up of letters. So the letters are building blocks, but words are building blocks. And so think of rudiments as groups of strokes. Those groups of strokes create a stroke word. Think of it as a word has meaning by itself. So I put together some letters into a word. You don't have to think about each of those letters. Maybe you do when you first learn a rudiment. You have to think about every single letter, every single stroke. But after you learn it, that rudiment, paradiddle, 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 right, becomes a memory, becomes a word. It has meaning, right? And so you can express yourself with words, right? You don't think about, because you know the words. So you want to know paradiddle because it trains your hands. Yes, it trains your hands. In fact, it does train your hands to do more important things. But it also gives you a memory of a sound. And that sound memory is like a word. It has a memory of thoughts behind it. And then you can use it in your playing big time. It just comes out of you at the right time because it's a thought. And you had that thought. You had that thought and it came out. And that thought comes out because you practiced it. So drum rudiments do train your hands to do amazing things that you cannot do without learning how to do the training, right? You have to learn technique. There's a page on technique, the mechanics of drumming. But this teaches you technique, drum rudiments. So I give you some practice suggestions that's important. And then there's different types of rudiments just on the snare drum for your hands, just to work your hands. And then there's drum set rudiments that do the whole drum set, your feet and your hands. And then there's very important to know the different stroke types. There's different strokes. There's upstrokes, downstrokes, rebound strokes. There's 9. I have a video on that. Actually, not just 4, there's 9. There's techniques that are associated with every one of these, using your fingers, your wrist. It's a science and an art, but it's really a lot of thought has been put behind this. And it's training your body so when you think it acts automatically, perfectly, every time. And a lot of my students, when they first start out, they have no stick control. They are not getting the sound because they don't know how to control their sticks. They have to do drills. They have to do drills to get control of their sticks. It's about mind and body working together, creating muscle memories. So you want to look at that. There's I try to break this down into rudiments into different categories. Single stroke rudiments are, single strokes, things that involve single strokes, double strokes, doubles, then combinations of singles and doubles. That's your paradiddles, paradiddle, diddle, 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 paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. So there's a lot of paras and diddles combined, and so they call them diddle rudiments. So we got that. Triple strokes. 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. That's a single, right? Triple. 1, 2, 3, 1. So we don't do a lot of triples, but it comes in handy. So there's triple strokes. And then there's multiple bounces where you get 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe that's a quad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to do that. And then there's also multiple bounces, right? Where you get a lot of buzzes or buzz strokes. There's times to do that. And getting nice buzz rolls, multiple bounce rolls. So you want to go look at all these different areas to work in, and it's beautiful. And I have hundreds of videos on these. And then different processes of developing your stick control. Really cool. Flams is a little grace note. It's an embellishment. But one main note and a little note right before it. That's very hard for a lot of people to do. Then there's a rough, which is single. That's a 3-stroke rough. 3-stroke rough, 4-stroke rough, and drags. It's 2 little grace notes. And then there's the buzz rolls. We talked about that. So there's maybe there'll be other groups, but there's hybrids, which are just combinations of all of these. All right, so I have a naming system for rudiments. It's really inspired from God. It took 1,000 hours, I swear, just to understand. It was kind of like the theory of relativity by Einstein. It just came into me, and I worked with it. And I just was like, wow, this is really cool. So I hope you enjoy that. It's I'll be adding to this page, but rudiments really train your hands, and then there's rudiments for your body as well. So they're like drills, but all those are musical ideas that I use in all my playing, and I have some videos that show you how I use them in my playing. But the sky's the limit on how you use rudiments. So God bless you. Enjoy it.